Hi, everybody. Again, it's Ken Iverson in Kent, Washington, near Seattle. This is the fourth 15-minute segment I've recorded this afternoon, and I'm going to go along in the same vein that I've been going along, talking about America and our abundance compared to the rest of the world. In the last segment, I just got through with showing you, I was going to show you the Senior SR Senior Resource Guide 2010, sponsored by Greenwood Memorial Park and Funeral Home, Dignity Memorial, and Merrill Gardens at Renton Center, a one-of-a-kind retirement community. This is it right here. You can see their SR guide. Can you see that? Okay, down there. Okay, that's Greenwood Memorial Park and Funeral Home. This is for seniors. These are people who are approaching the end of their lives, and for those of us who have made arrangements already for our burial and our cremation and so on. This is what it says at Greenwood Memorial Park. Proudly serving the community since 1910, Greenwood Memorial Park and Funeral Home is changing to better accommodate your family's funeral, burial, or cremation needs. We are always striving to serve you better. We have added the Garden of Harmony, the extension of our peaceful Southland Garden, excuse me for laughing, and the beautiful second phase of our Garden of Eternal Peace. Amen. We offer a serene ambience where families come to pay their respects. And you can see here, this on the back, that apparently, I haven't been to this place, but apparently this is what it looks like. You can see down there at the bottom. What I read was at the top there. That's the garden of whatever. And one of the sponsors of this senior resource guide is Merrill Gardens at Renton Center. Renton's a town just north of Kent, and it's a retirement community. If you have a lot of money and you're retired, you can go live at Merrill Gardens at Renton Center, and that's one of the problems we have in this country is providing for old people, for seniors. Excuse me for coughing. The seniors are taken care of with Medicare and me with Medicaid because I'm poor, and but there's in Medicare they only pay a certain amount, a number of days for nursing homes for extended care. And a lot of seniors, when they get older, towards the end of their life, need nursing homes. They need extended care. And we have a senator, a state senator in the state of Washington here, who's working on that on the state level. Her name's Karen Kaiser. She's a representative here in the 33rd Legislative District where I live. That's a state, Washington State senator. And we also have two representatives in the 33rd District, Dave Upthegrove and Tina Orwell, both of them good people. And they ran unopposed, both of them, so I didn't campaign very much for them. I went to their kickoff dinner, or kickoff day, but I didn't campaign for them. I campaigned for Adam Smith and Patty Murray. Patty Murray's the incumbent senator in the state of Washington. She's been in the Senate for 18 years. She's got seniority, and she beat a real scumbag in Dino Rossi. So anyway, Patty Murray's a good, honorable woman, and she won. And I say hooray for the Democrats. We needed that seat in the House of, or in the Senate. So anyway, enough of that. Now I'm going to go on to something even more personal in all this. Oh, I wanted to say, the end of life planning. I have directives made up and I've given a copy to my doctor, what I want if I'm incapable of making my own choices, my own decisions at the end of life. And I tell them that any life is better than no life at all, and I believe that. Some people sign the end of life directive, saying they don't want to be kept alive by artificial means, and I don't go along with that. I think any life is preferable to no life at all. I value human life, and I want to breathe I want every bit of it. I want to get every bit out of human life that I possibly can, and therefore I've directed my doctors to keep me alive as long as possible. even if it involves artificial means. And that's my wish. That's my desire, and I have it written up in the director. I've saved it on the computer. I've given copies to the relevant people, my primary care physician and my neurologist and so on. So, anyway. Okay, let me move on here. Oh, by the way, I have paid up funeral and cremation expenses. I paid for all of that. I belonged to an organization called the, what was it? People's Memorial Association, and they believe in dignified, inexpensive, and dignified funerals and burials and cremation. And they contract in volume, the members contract in volume with a funeral home. And because it's in volume, the funeral home will give them reduced prices for burial and for cremation. And now my People's Memorial Association contracted with a funeral home in Seattle called Blight's Funeral Home, Bleitz, I believe. And Blight's was recently bought out. It used to be a small family-run funeral home. It was bought out by a big major business. Remember, I said everything's getting bigger in the United States. Bought by a business, a funeral business, and they no longer will accept the contract with People's Memorial Association because the money they're getting is not enough. But they have agreed to grandfather out the people who are signed up or were signed up with People's Memorial and Blight's before. And so I've taken advantage of this, and they've guaranteed me that when I die, all I have to do is call them, and they'll have someone. I won't be able to call them. Someone will call them. The hospital will call them, or relatives will call them. They'll come, they'll pick up my body, take it to Blight's, they'll cremate it, they'll deliver it to the cemetery where I paid for the plot, and the headstone and all of that, second rites, I paid for all of that, and I will be buried there. And then if I have planned my memorial service, and I know what I want Simon and Garfunkel singing, what is it, Sounds of Silence, and A Bridge Over Troubled Water. I want Dolly Parton or Whitney Houston, or maybe Vince Gill singing something like I Love You, I Honestly Love You, whatever that's called. And I want a season. I want I forget what book of the Bible it is. There's a season under heaven for everything, something to that effect. I want that read, and then if anybody has anything good to say about me, I wish I'd say it before I die, because I'm not going to be around to hear it. I believe that when you die, that's it. That's the end of consciousness. There's no heaven. There's no hell. There's no 77 Vestal Virgins. There's no paradise. There's no purgatory. There's no nothing. It's just the end of consciousness. So I wake up every morning, and I thank my lucky stars that I have another day. And it works for me. I don't ask other people to believe what I believe, and that's where we get into problems, when we insist that other people believe what we believe, whether we're Christians or Muslims or Hindus or Sikhs or Buddhists or whatever. If we insist that other people see the world the way we see it, then we're going to get into trouble. And if you don't, the argument goes, if you don't believe what I believe, you're stupid, and because you're stupid, I have the right to kill you. That's essentially how the argument runs, and that's where it's been since time immemorial. And this is because we're afraid of the one great mystery that we'll never solve, and that's what happens when we die and after we're dead. We will never know the answer to that question, because we just can't. We just can't know the answer to that question, and we are uncomfortable with that fact, and we project our uncomfortableness onto other people, blame them for our uncomfortableness, and I think that's the basis of war. I think that's the basis of killing other people, is because we're uncomfortable with ourselves and with our fate, with the fact we're going to die. It's just as simple as that. I've thought a lot about this, and that's a conclusion that I've come to. Again, that's my opinion. I don't ask you to believe what I believe. I may be all wet, but it works for me. I'm 67, and I've had a fairly good life. If I live another 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years, maybe 25 years, then that's frosting on the cake, uh, and I'll take it, but it's frosting on the cake. I've had 67 pretty good years. So anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I swear to God. So where do we go from here? I want to talk a little bit about something I've talked about before. I'm going back to school. I'm going back to school. I'm 67. I'm going back to school. I'm going to get my master's. I have a BA. I have a BA, a bachelor's of arts from Stanford in history, specializing in African history and African political science. And I took a course on the Great Depression and Franklin Roosevelt and the New Deal. And that's relevant now. If we're not in a depression, we're so darn close it doesn't make much difference. We're calling it a recession, but people are talking about a double dip recession. I say it's a depression. It's an all-out depression, and we'll know in 5 or 10 or 15 years just how bad it is. I believe, and this is my own personal belief, I don't ask anybody else to believe this, I believe that the last century was the American century, and the coming century will be the Chinese or the Indian century, or maybe both of them. They both got 1 billion people. They're investing billions in education, in high tech, and the clean energy economy, particularly in China. That's something Obama wants us to invest in this country, and I say hooray for Obama. It's high time that we reduced our dependence on foreign oil and went ahead with the green energy, with the clean economy, and solar power and electric cars and solar-powered cars and things of that nature. How are we doing here? We got about 2 minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes to go here. So where do we go? I want to talk a little bit here, and then we'll wrap it up, I think, for today. I'm going back to school, and I'm torn between the University of the Rockies. I mentioned they have a program in their Department of Psychology called Mediation and Conflict Resolution. And then I am investigating right now the Chicago School of Professional Psychology, right here. You can see there I've got this all marked up here. That's their schedule for 2008 through 2013 academic calendar for online campus. I'll be taking this over to the computer online, and I'm thinking that I'm very busy these days, and I'm also very tired, and I won't be able to start school until next August 29th at the Chicago School. I think that's what I've chosen over the University of the Rockies, but I'm still torn. I would start Monday, October 29th, 2011, and the final day of the term would be on Monday, October 24th, 2011. That's a quarter system, I guess, is what they have. And then we go on here. The first day of classes for spring and blah blah blah. And I would be taking. I've got it around here. It's essentially conflict resolution, the same thing that the University of the Rockies have, and they have a good staff. It's a little more expensive than the University of the Rockies, but they assure me that financial aid would be forthcoming. So I'm looking forward to that. How are we doing here? We got another minute. I am looking forward to going back to school. I have not been in school in a long time, but I've worked very hard on Peace Day, and I've done some of the things that that will be useful to me. So this is the way it stands in my life right now, and I'm going to sign off for tonight, for today, and I am going to have some more sparkling cider, Knudsen sparkling cider here, just to celebrate the conclusion of what we've recorded today. And what are we doing? We got 30. We got about 20 seconds here. So I'm going to have here's to abundance, to food. Here's to the people in Pakistan who are starving, and I wish I could give you some of this right now. I wish you could have some of this, all of the vegetables and the chocolate and the good stuff that I have here.